Now?
No.
My family moved here in 1920, and we discovered free merry-go-rounds. And we rode and rode and rode till we got sick. Is that what you want?
That
sounds good.
Fine.
Okay. Everything down at the park was free. You just put on your bathing suit and run down the park and go swimming, go ice skating, go to free races. There were trolley cars then. I didn't know you could ride the trolley up Washington Avenue. But anyway, what else? I have two brothers, Fred and Bill. And then I got married. I met your grandfather when I was 22, and we got married when I was 23. Shall I? I don't.
You can ask questions.
I don't think I'll put that.
You can take the interview.
What Grandma said.
Where did you live when you first got married?
Huh?
When you first got married, where did you live?
We lived on Jefferson Avenue in an apartment over a garage.
How much was the rent? How much did it cost?
$30 a month. We had a living room, a big kitchen, 2 bedrooms, an open porch, and an enclosed porch. In our garage, the furnace, we kept the furnace going.
What did you heat with?
Well, it was coal, must have been coal, because I didn't know how to shovel coal, so your grandfather, Ben, had to go to Philadelphia for 3 months with IBM, and I couldn't keep the fire going, so I moved back to Mom and Dad for the winter. And then Dick was born May 8, 1938, and we moved into our new home. He was born in May, and we moved into our new home in August, our new home on Robbins Street. And then the next year Jim was born.
How much did the new home cost?
The new home cost $5,700. It was estimated to cost $4,500 and went $1,200 over. Needless to say, that made us short of money. But anyway, we managed to scrape it together. We didn't have furniture in every room. We didn't have curtains on all the windows. We got them when we could afford them. Paid cash. We paid for our house in 8 years, and then saved up and put an addition on the house, which cost, let's see, the addition cost, house 57, the addition cost $6,000 more than the house.
And when was
And
the
then
addition?
we put siding on the house that cost more than that.
When was the addition?
$6,800 for the siding.
When did you put the addition on?
No, we put the addition on, Doug was a little boy, 30-some years ago.
Yeah,
So we paid that off in just a few years. We never were in debt very long. All right, what else do you want to know? We had a big garden with fruit trees and all kinds of vegetables.
And you think
Strawberry patch and grapevines and raspberry bushes and asparagus patch.
how about back when you were a little girl? Can you remember where you first lived?
Where I first lived?
Yeah.
We lived in Flint, Michigan. Or not Flint. We lived in Lansing, Michigan. I just remember the lawns were very wide.
You weren't. Were you born in Michigan?
No, I was born in Elmira. Born in Elmira, New York. In 1914. We moved to Michigan when I was 2 months old. Grandma took us, Fred and I, to Michigan on the train. She doesn't remember what she used for diapers or what she used to feed us on that train. But we lived there until I was 6, and then we moved back here.
Here meaning to Endicott now?
Mhm.
Because originally you were from Elmira.
Yeah, back here from where we moved here. Yeah.
That's when Grandpa got the job at Endicott Forge, or
Endicott Forge.
how did he find out about that?
I don't know. He had a way of finding out because he moved all around the country here from job to job. He'd hear about a job and somehow or other through the grapevine or something, and if he was out of a job, he'd go looking. But those times were poor apparently then, because he'd work a few months and then they'd lay him off and he'd find another job. But he was a self-made man.
So once he got here, he stayed
with,
for the rest of his...
Because he and Kildare, the owner of the business, squabbled all the time. Dad would be up ready to leave, and Mom would say, "You move one more time and you're going without me." So he stayed. Because he moved all the time. I wasn't aware of that. But anyway, he left home when he was 13 and made it on his own. Learned tool making, tool designing.
Where did he first go after he left home? Was he stayed?
Well, the car manufacturers were there just starting up, and that.
So he went from Saginaw to Detroit, or?
I don't know which way, probably both, back and forth both ways. In Lansing, where we live.
And then what brought him to Elmira? Was that where he met?
He must have heard about work. He was working for the forging works over in Elmira Heights.
I see. That's when he...
was right near Mom's grandmother. Mom met him on a blind date in Towanda.
In Towanda?
That's where she went to high school.
Oh, okay.
And she had a girlfriend working in the store there. And the girlfriend had a boyfriend who became acquainted with Dad, and that's how they had a blind date.
So she had family in Elmira area though, did she?
Her mother lived in Elmira Heights at that point.
Okay, but
Mom was living in Towanda. I can't keep her dates all together, but all I know is she told me she met him on a blind date, and her friend was working in the store there in Towanda.
Mm-hmm.
Mom went to high school there, but I don't know whether at that point whether she was already teaching, or what. She might have been already teaching and just in town for the summer.
So
but when she was teaching, she went home every summer.
So how long did they go together before they got married?
I don't know. I didn't get to ask her that. And Grandpa Johnson there on the hill, he was lumbering up there, and that's how she met him.
Mm-hmm. You remember anything about your Grandpa Stratton? Or is it?
I vaguely remember going to his place.
I guess he's
sleeping in the hay in the barn. And I remember the pond they had there near the house that had morning glories along the fence, and if you stuck your nose in the morning glory or smell it, it would close up around your nose.
Did you fish in that pond, or?
No. I just know there was a duck pond there. And then he had a spring there, the one that was still there when you went, had a spring there that he kept the fish in, so that kept the spring clean. And supposedly there was a creek there where one of Grandpa Stratton's sons fished. Always supplied him with fish, but not in that pond.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of apple trees. Well, as I say, I was only around there a little while. We didn't go visit them that often.
Mm-hmm.
But I vaguely remember that. Now, Bill could tell you things. Bill was younger than I, but he's telling all these things that went on that I never even knew about. So if you want to ask about the family, get Bill. he'll give you plenty of tape. As I say, he was telling that your grandfather was well known in the steel business.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, after he retired at 75, American Can wanted to employ him. But me, I don't remember much. When we moved back to Elmira, we went back to Elmira for just a little while. I think we just stayed at my grandmother's temporarily because we lived up in Bantam for a winter. I went to first grade in several places, come to think of it. I went to first grade in Elmira, and up in Bantam, and down in Endicott. So we must have stayed with my grandmother when we first got back until they found a place over here.
Mm-hmm. How old was the house when you moved in, or don't you know?
Grandma's house?
Mm-hmm.
It must have been an old house then because it was over 100 years old now. We lived along the river. We went swimming in the river even when there was a nice pool down there. Same way we went ice skating up in the swamp when there was an ice skating rink down there where you could keep warm. So we had lots of advantages. They had horse racing. You didn't have to pay for any of this stuff in that park. Everything in the park was free and the horse racing was free. They're sulky races, not people riding horses, sulky races. Oh, well, what else happened?
Any travels away from? Any travels away from Endicott that you can remember?
No, only I remember vaguely coming home from Michigan. I know I came down with the mumps on the way home because we stopped at Aunt Henny's. When I woke up in the morning, I had the mumps.
You drove or took the train?
No, we drove.
Mm-hmm.
Had an open touring car with the curtains on it.
I can remember taking the boat from Buffalo to Michigan.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that when you were?
Yeah, we took the boat. There's pictures of me standing on the boat, but I vaguely remember looking, because you could look down at the engines or something through a glass window and you could watch them, but that's all I remember about it. There's pictures of us on the boat. I think we did that several times. Well, this is my dad and mother, and me, my brother Fred, and my brother Bill. And that picture must have been taken in Michigan by the age I look like there. And that's me and Ben before we were married. This is your grandma and grandpa Balsley. Who does anybody look like him? Nobody. And this is our wedding picture. My brother Bill was best man, and my friend Marge was my maid of honor. This is our 25th anniversary. This is our home. There was no land around it. We had to have it all filled in. That's when I'm pregnant. And this is little. Oh, that was Tom. This is Dick. You don't want all these comments on all these, do you? This is just Christmas. I don't remember. I can't tell because we're not marked.
What year? Well, let's see. If that's Suzanne, then
that would have been. She was born in 41. That's probably 42.
Right, something about that. I thought we had some of the older ones here.
That's Suzanne. This must be Tom. Yeah. We didn't have too many pictures of Tom. There's
Jim and you and Suzanne. This is that picture taken at IBM. That's when the Watsons came to town and they wanted the managers all to bring their families up for lunch. So I had to dash around and find some clothes. Oh, that's a terrible picture of Suzanne. There's Dick and Tom and Jim and Sue. And these are just that old Dickie.
Well, that looks like Jim.
Yeah, that's Jim.
That's Suzanne, and maybe that's Tom.
That's Tom. There's very few of him. This was a picture of Jim. He borrowed it,
Oh.
and I haven't seen it since. This is Suzanne.
Tom.
And Tom. And Suzanne, she took a snip out of her bangs just before I had the picture taken.
Yeah, that's enough.
This is her ballet. This is her junior prom. And Grandma and Grandpa. Brianne in that house in Wyalusing. There's Dick and Tom and Jim and Ben. The three of you. How come you're not in that picture? That's down in Mom's.
Yeah.
You kids look kind of scrawny there.
Look like Huck Finn.
There's Doug with his first fish, first and only fish that he went, the only time he went fishing with Grandpa. That's at our 25th party, isn't it?
Probably.
There's Doug and Grandpa. And Doug with Daddy Claus. Let's see. I don't remember when that was. There's Doug. Some more pictures of Doug. There he's strumming his guitar up at Lake Ontario. Here's Suzanne with a chunk out of her bangs.
Taken at the same time that other picture.
Uh-oh. No, he's not naked. I don't know who that is.
Maybe Anthony.
Summer's 66.
That's Anthony.
Oh, that's Anthony. Yeah, that's just a Jim and Sharon pictures. Right there, one out. Yeah, those are all, that's Jim and Karen and Anthony. That's Anthony.
Looks like Jim.
That's little Anthony. That's Jim when he was at Fort Dix. And there's Dick and Sue when they got married. There we are at Dick's graduation. That's when Rick stayed with us when Sue won a contest. You went to Florida or something, remember?
Mm-hmm.
That's when Rick stayed with us. I remember he walked to the back door, and Satan was standing here, and our cat was standing here, and their tails were standing straight up, and he grabbed both of them at the same time. What a reaction. Both cats. Woo!
Rick. He was low.
There's more. Here's John. There's Rick blowing bubbles. That's you and Rick. There's little Sue. And Rick strumming Doug's guitar. Doug looks like he's holding his head, doesn't he? See, he's got his hand on his head and Rick is strumming. There's Grandma. Well, there's a Christmas with a weary grandmother. Suzanne's favorite pose. It's where she spent a lot of her free time on the phone there. And Dad. That must be Rick and Anthony.
Mm.
There's this one. Was that when Dad had his stroke? I know you managed to get a picture. Good night. Is that me?
No.
Looks like that old sourpuss.
Tools for the
There's
strange
Rick with us.
musician. That's one of our
Here he is,
favorites.
that's when he was up there too. Blowing that thing for the cat. There's Doug, he didn't quite know what to do with a nephew at that point. Look at John with his hat.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the other side of the family. That's when they were trying to solve their problems and didn't. Here's Suzanne's wedding.
Thank you.
Suzanne with all her
And the
brothers.
light bulb.
All her brothers. I told her I tried to get a sister, but didn't manage. She said, "Oh, I like
there's
having
great
brothers."
pictures of the outfits for
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
fashion. There's Anthony
And Tanya.
and Tanya.
Oh, that's Beth. And Rick.
Hard to see.
Don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I think in one of these, Todd.
Yeah, that's
Todd and Rick were the
and
same.
Todd, I think.
Yeah. He always looks so scared.
Very strange.
Well, there's
Oh, wonderful.
there's your uncle with Nixon's arm around him.
There's
And I don't know who that is.
whether it's
Probably says on the back of the picture. Well,
yeah.
and there's your Uncle Fred and his wife Eleanor. Bill says he doesn't think she's going to make it through the winter. She's moved down near Billy now. And this is the Balsley residence. Grandma Balsley. Yes.
Bombing balls, right?
This is August '79.
I think
That's
we've had enough.
the three Balsley boys and their sister.